Hey, what's going on, sexy mofos? Big Fred coming at you. Got a couple things to talk about on this live. You already know about the podcast we're going to put out later this evening. So hopefully you guys tune into that, like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And the other reason is I was sent some footage from a follower here on Instagram, Rye Sykes. Hopefully I said that correctly. And he sent me a couple of video clips of some CQB. I asked for samples of poor or not great CQB or shooting videos, shooting demos. And I've gotten a lot of feedback, a lot of response, and some good videos. Some weren't so great. They were either too short clips. They were like flash clips, which lasted like 2 seconds, so you can't really critique much. Or I felt they weren't, good enough or applicable. But I've gotten some decent ones, and technically I've been challenged trying to figure out how to run these. So I'm going to do an Instagram live for this one, and I'll post it after if it's not too horrible. If I don't mess it up too bad. But thank you, Rye, for sending me these clips. Now, I believe these are some Israeli guys, and their big push or their big philosophy is limited penetration, clearing of buildings, rooms, structures. Now, I don't know the full backstory of their tactics and their techniques, but I can only critique what I see on video. So it's pretty horrible. And like, I know if you're doing singleton clearing as a police officer or what have you, somebody broke in your house, you came home from dinner or something and you discovered it and you want to clear your way into the house to, if you have a loved one or a pet or something, you want to get out of there. So you don't have 360-degree security, right? Which is one of the founding principles, or it should be a founding principle in CQB, right? I'm not talking about speed, surprise, violence of action. That's not what I mean. I mean 360-degree security is an overarching requirement when you're doing CQB. That's why you do it with a team, but that's not always the case, especially for a lot of cops. So, like I said, I don't know the backstory, but their tactics are not great. And I don't know if they do it for exposure and just content creation, or if they actually teach this and get paid for it. I hope that's not the case, because they're teaching some really poor habits and some really bad techniques. So let's watch these clips, and I'm going to share these videos. First one is singleton, one person, and I'm gonna preface this by saying, and this is what I say at work, at my job, right? You have to have the right amount of people to clear a building. Now, these are big, massive, almost like school buildings or office. No, I think they're school. They look like classrooms. So big, a really big school. Why would you have one person, one officer clearing an entire school? I don't know. I don't understand, but I'm not Israeli, so I don't know how stuff goes down over there. Never been. And like I said, it could just be the novelty or the entertainment value. Maybe that's why they're doing this. But the first point I want to point out is they're clearing a structure way too big and overwhelming for one or even two guys, or even a team of like 4 to 6. This building's much too huge. But let's watch it. I'll stop flapping my gums. Let me do the single one first. Another thing I want to say is I can't pause these videos to stop and talk, so I'll probably replay it over and over again just to bring up some points. And then I'll jump into the second video, which is two-person clearing, which is, they're almost doing it like a singleton, the same concepts, which doesn't make sense to me, but let's watch it. So I'm going to share the first one, single person. All right, so he's traveling down a hallway. I can't pause it. He's got an open door on the left. He's got a closed door to the right, so he's going to put his back to the closed door and the open hallway down the end. I guess he can't help it. So all he did was kind of walk side to side to make sure nobody was in that immediate area. He closes a door, which gives a little concealment from the next room. One thing I want to say about this fella is he is way over manipulating that rifle. So he has no connection to that gun. So if this was whatever the mission, whether it's a hostage rescue or kill a capture, high risk warrant serve, whatever, if he has to make critical shots, like no failure shots, he's going to throw them because he has no connection to that rifle. Like I said, I think this is just for show. So he looks in the doorway, goes in, he peeks around the corner. He peeks his head out a lot without a muzzle, and you'll see it in the next video. Closes that door so he can pass the open door, which it's still an open door, to clear the little dead space around the corner there. But he completely puts his back to that dead space right there to his right. He never cleared that dead space, all right, before moving to the next room. Now he's pieing off the next adjoining room. He compresses the rifle, opens the door again. He's going back and forth. He never penetrated that room, so he cut the video off before that. But I'm just going to say, like, this guy doesn't connect to this rifle. So if that was like a hostage rescue, you have to make a critical low percentage shot, he's going to throw one and hurt somebody, or it's going to be mission failure. And like I said, I know this is, look at, he puts his back to all that dead space, those cabinets. Never cleared that far corner on the left there. I don't know, man. This is just, I know he's making it look really slick with his weapon, over manipulating the weapon. But let me move into the next one, and you'll see two guys. His partner joins in. All right, there's some background music. I may mute it because it's annoying. All right, so you got two guys. One guy just ducked in a room by himself without his second, which that's a no-no. If you got two, you need to go break that threshold with two guys. Now watch as they peek. All they do is peek their noses and heads around the corners to look into the room to get a little bit bigger picture, but they never have muzzles in the door in case they did see a threat they needed to eliminate. And then they have this like body language, poking the rifle, trying to talk to each other. Look at that. They almost Keystone Copped each other right there. Guy doesn't ever have the rifle in his shoulder, the two-man there. So if he had to make a shot, it's probably going to get thrown and go flying through a couple of walls and possibly into somebody he didn't want to shoot. Guys making CQB look cool with fancy gun manipulations and darting around like rabbits and clearing empty buildings, giant empty buildings. I guess that's what makes you look good, like you know what you're talking about. But these guys are not practicing good, solid tactics whatsoever, especially as a two-person element. And they flag each other numerous times. I can't even count the times they flag each other. See the switching shoulders? Trying to utilize cover, minimize exposure. That's fine, but you get like, it looks like you have standard construction walls there. I don't know, I could be wrong. That looks like studs and drywall. I could be wrong. But even so, that's like maybe 4 inches of wall, and you're breaking the gun off the shoulders. Like, that's, look, now they're communicating. How do we handle this? They do a little Keystone Cop moment here. You go. No, you go. Okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to go. You going to go? No, I'm going to go. Yep, I'm going. Oh, and I flagged my buddy. So if they had to make a shot, a critical shot, I'm pretty sure it would be failure. But I could be wrong. I'll let this finish out and then I'll stop it. And the way they hold their guns, it drives me wild. Like, my OCD is kicking in. Guy clearing the room by himself when he has a buddy in the doorway. Like, what is wrong, guys? Let's use our heads. Flagging. Yeah. All right. I can't watch anymore. Sorry. All right. Hopefully you found that entertaining. Maybe some thought-provoking stuff was going on. So leave a comment. Tell me what you guys thought of those videos. Those are pretty interesting. And I've seen those guys before on social media. And I think it's just a skit. I think it's just novelty. I could be wrong. People could very well be paying them money. I hope that's not the case, because those are poor tactics. Stand by, I just lost my sound. All right. Sorry, my sound. I didn't have my audio interface connected to power, so eventually the rechargeable battery ran out. One last thing I want to talk about. So Mike and I at Silencio Coffee, we're playing with an idea that we've had actually a couple of years ago. I've had these magazines for quite some time. They're basic PMags. I know I'm using the selfie camera, so everything's backwards to you, but that is our Silencio Coffee logo. If you think you would like to buy these, we're thinking about selling these on the Silencio Coffee website. They're PMags. They're just standard Magpul PMags, and they have our logo. I think they're pretty cool. I've had 6 or 7 of them for a couple of years now and never really thought to talk about them and maybe even offer them to people if they'd be interested. Just another piece of swag. You guys know Mike is a swag guy, and hopefully, let us know what you think if you'd like some, and maybe we'll incorporate that into the Silencio Nation benefits as well. So you guys let me know what you thought of the videos, and if you have any opposing thoughts, feel free to post them in the comments. Let me know what you thought, and if you find any videos, whether they be shooting drills, CQB tactics, any of that kind of stuff that you find you have questions about or you don't think is up to par, just send them to me and let me know. Or even if they're good videos. I just did a video yesterday, I haven't posted it yet, where I critiqued a shooting drill, and the guy was like 90% squared away. He had a couple little things that were probably not the best, the optimal situation, but he definitely did the work and put in the reps. So it can go either way. I'll let you know just my thoughts and opinions, and I have fun doing these, so send them. You guys have a good one, and hopefully you'll be listening to the podcast this evening. You guys take care. Later.